I got an easy night tonight.
No. You could because you have questions in here already.
I know. It's weird. Maybe YouTube's just not doing it tonight. Let me see if it says it's there. Make a lot of my lives.
Let me try something too.
It says it started. Am I in there? I'm in the right one. It's weird. Maybe YouTube's just not doing it tonight. It's there. Let me see if it says it's there. We got no love. That's okay.
Oh, there's two.
Somebody showed up.
Now it's filling it. Okay. Now it's filling it. Okay.
Okay, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. All two of you.
I love it. Look at that. If we keep going at this pace, we'll be at a million views.
It's very weird that happened, right? It's weird. I was on and on and not on and not on. And it's crazy. Okay. So it is what it is. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything? Let's see. Okay. I guess we're good. Okay. Look at that. Okay, so everyone back to this. And now we actually have some people on here. Okay, that was very, very weird. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so Lillian, I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what the hell's going on. Because it was weird. It just kind of got crazy. Oh, no, I don't know what's going on. It is what it is. We'll figure it out. Okay. So I guess you just watch it on the phone. Okay. Do it that way. I just don't get it. Sometimes technology throws me for a loop.
I actually have a question for our viewership.
Yeah.
So if anybody on here who's taken the 63, 65, 66, if you've taken the 7, do you feel like you need to study a different way for the 66 than the way that you did for the 7? In the way that you have to concentrate or you go through materials? I was just thinking about it earlier, and because it is really a very different exam given by NASA instead of FINRA, I wonder if anybody's changed the way that they look at it as they're studying it. Because I think that there is a little bit of a different approach that you have to take.
Could be. Okay. It's just she's answering. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I think it would help to continue to recognize that for everybody who's taken the NASA exams, because I think from the second that they start reading the book, if they approach it just a slightly differently, the same kind of effort has to be put in, but I think the way that you read the material is different than taking a lot of practice questions for the 7 versus a 6, any of the 63, 65, 66. You have to do a little bit more thinking rather than volume. It's like quality over volume, I would say, 7 versus that.
I agree. Yeah. I try to tell everyone it's like the 7 is brute force. The 65, 66 is like a little bit
more of a scalpel.
Yeah, I agree. You have to a little more brains, I guess. Maybe that's what no. Okay.
You see the comments coming in right now.
Yeah. That's good. While you're doing that, Scott has a good question. So there's an answer for you. There's a question for you, Jeff. But let's talk about a couple of things first, just to bore the shit out of you. Okay. So first of all, if you need help, you have Series 7. You have Series66exam.com. That's the website you can go book. I have stuff on there you can look at. If you don't like my style or my other tutors, I have 2 great tutors. The other one you can look at is Series7examtutor.com. He's great. He's a CFA. He's really good at. He's very organized, very good at this stuff, at the 65, 66 stuff. Okay. Now, these are all good questions. You might be busy today, Jeff. Instead of me.
No. I was thinking about it all day today.
Yeah.
Because as I'm working during the day and I think about the different things that I have to focus on, I think it might apply to the same thing with the exams.
Right.
And I think it would help people get through it a lot quicker.
I do. I think so. So you start looking through those and see what you can talk about.
Yeah, okay. I will.
So let me hear. Okay. Gabrielle, I think you're here. I don't know if you're here before, but yeah. Okay. So So Gabriel, I can work on that. So couple quick things. Let's not go too crazy on that shit. It's not that big a deal. So now, so you got an 80. You're in really good shape. And Jeff, when you talk about that stuff, you can bring up the memberships too. When you talk about that stuff,
yeah, I put the memberships in there. So
okay, good. Okay,
anyway,
so look, Sharp ratio, as far as the 65-66 go, Sharp ratio is: am I getting enough reward for the risk I'm taking? Okay, am I getting enough reward for the risk I'm taking? So it's literally my return minus the risk-free rate divided by standard deviation. Standard deviation is risk, right? It's basically volatility, right? So again, Sharp ratio is just, am I getting enough return for the risk I'm taking? That's all it is. It's not deeper than that. It's nothing. It's all good. Okay. That's literally how deep it's going to get. Now, if we have, let's go to the next one. So CAPM is like, it's basically the beta formula. So we're calculating our return based on the risk we're taking, right? So I'm not going to do the whole math on the beta, but I'm going to show you because I do have videos. If you look up I have a beta video, you can look that up. So if you look at this, wait, hold on. Now the thing is, I can't leave shit on the ground because, hold on, what's this? This is somebody said Lumos. Knox. There we go. Okay. Now, if put this over here. So now, beta is literally a multiplier. So if you have a market return, this is CAPM. This is literally the CAPM formula. If you have a market return of 12%, call that the S&P, and you have a beta of 1.5, that means you're going to move 50% more than the market. It's literally 12 times 1.5, 18%. Okay, so I'll say that again. If CAPM is literally how volatile I am. So compared to the market, I'll do another one real quick. If the market return is 8%, and my beta is 1.2, I'm going to do 8. We can do this together. I'm going to do 8 times 1.2. 8. I was doing a bunch of calculations with the membership class before. 8 times 1.2 is, so my expected return is 9.6%. That's all it is. That's the CAPM formula. Market times beta times 9. That's my expected return. Yes, if they give you the risk-free rate, it's a little heavier. I have that in the video, but I'm not going to do that now. But that's literally what CAPM is. But that's really what it is. Now, again, and standard deviation is just how volatile we are. The higher the standard deviation, the more we will move. Okay. Good stuff. Okay. Okay. Ali. Okay, now here we go. No, it's really Ali. Okay. You're done. Ali, if you're on here now, get the fuck off my live. Go get some sleep. Seriously. Just go. Ali, come on, and then get the fuck off. Seriously. You're good. You're scoring mid-80s. You're in great shape. Move on. If you're good in ethics, ethics is a lot. This test has a lot of ethics. So that's the whole point, is that there's a lot of ethics on the test that's going to help. Okay. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let me get one more, and then we got one more question, and then you can start. I'm hitting a brick wall with the 66. If you'll cover the STC. Okay, yeah. So Gabriel, don't worry about it. You're taking it. You're taking it Monday. So I always tell everyone not really to focus. I really don't like people take switching vendors like the day or a few days before the exam. It just screws you up. So again, you're getting 58 maybe because it's a different wording. They do. Here's the thing. I love achievable, but a lot of times they do a they add a lot of double negatives into this. They go crazy on the double negatives. So I'm just saying that maybe don't worry about it too much. You'll be in good shape. You got to be confident, Gabriel. We're going to nail this fucking thing. Okay. Last one. Consent to serve. Then Jeff can start. Were you reading some of these comments?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So consent to serve as a process is when you don't have to register, but you kind of meet the definition a little bit, right? So if you're a Reg D or a mutual fund and you want to sell shares in a certain state, well, you don't have to register. You have to notice file. That's what that is, okay? Or if you're a federally covered, the other one is if you're a federally covered advisor. So if you are a federally covered advisor and you have either an office or more than 5 clients in a state, that can't make you register, so they notice file. Notice file is literally going, here's the paperwork I gave the SEC. I'm giving to you. I'm not saying you have jurisdiction over me, but I'm giving you the paperwork. I'm just letting you know I'm there. That's what it is, and you do it once. Okay. Okay. You want to hit into some of the ones you got?
Yeah. I think in general, you have to put the same effort towards the NASAA exams that you do for the 7. The difference is that you really need to understand more. You need to memorize more of the regulatory, more of the rules about being an advisor than than seeing math on the 7. I think maybe slow down the reading a little bit. So usually I would say when you study for the 7, get through the chapters, you do the chapter quizzes, you get your 75 to 80% and you move on. I think with the 65 and 66 particularly, you really, really want to understand the concepts. It's more literal than it is mathematical, if that makes sense. I think there's more numbers driven on the Series 7 and those types of investment products, what you would expect. And then you get to 65 and 66 and you're seeing concepts, rules, and regulations that are just pure understanding and memory. It's memorization, but to the point that you have to understand it even more, because the way that they're going to ask you on the exam is always going to vary slightly from whatever test materials you have. So I hope that makes sense a little bit, but I think it's you really need to understand the concepts rather than brute forcing your way through the 7 to get all the material, getting all the topics in.
I agree. It is. That's why I think there's I don't know that's fat, but I feel there's a higher fail rate with the 65 and 66 than the 7. I mean, maybe not. I mean, maybe there's so many people taking it and they fail, and I don't know. But the people I'm dealing with, I've seen on these lives, it feels like the 66 is a tougher slog.
I remember all the years ago that I took, the 63 was fine. The 7, you put your time in, you put your hours in, you take the practice test, you take your, all your questions. The 66 for me that I remember, I just remember reading it and then going through the exams and even taking the exam. It just had a completely different feel.
Right.
And I think that you just need to recognize that early on. You're excited. You took the SIE, you took the 6 or the 7, and now you got to take, the 65 or 66 or whatever it is. And you really have to think about, rules, regulations, rather than investment vehicles. It's a completely different, it builds on the 7, but in a completely different way.
I'm with you. I like it. Good. I like that. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Come on, where are we? Why is it so slow? I was trying to do something while you were talking, and now it takes.
It's one more thing I like. It's understanding why they have the rules in place that they do. It's not just memorizing the rule. It's not like just memorizing, oh, I've got to register for this 30 days or 15 days or 2 weeks. It's really understanding why you have to do it. And that will get you through the exam.
Yeah.
Easier. It's harder work in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's harder work in the beginning, but you'd rather do your heavy lifting early and then go in and feel confident about the exam. Right. So that 100%. You're not saying the week before, you know, what should I take another look at? You don't want to take another look at. You want to have that relaxed feeling of you understand the concept.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I'm awesome. What was it? Something you said that I was going to bring up. No, I think that's good. I also think if you understand the stuff, it's like people go, I can't remember the formulas. Yeah, but if you understand it, it's not a formula. It's just working through it. So a lot of times trying to understand the thing, if you try to understand what, like, again, total return is or annualized return, and you try to understand it a little bit better, it's less of a formula than it is just I got to work through it. Okay. Dave, baby, past the 7, baby. I love it. That's outstanding. Yeah, I don't like the landscape because it looks like we're looking right at Michael Jackson's crotch, which is saved for children, right? I guess. Okay, never mind. Okay.
Controversial to begin with.
I know. That's what I just said. Okay. So Andrea did a lot more questions. Just go around. Oh, Lillian reading the book again. Good. I like that. Okay, good. Okay. So Gabriel, I hope I got to you on that. I hope I answered your question on that. I got it for when you plugged it in before. Let me ask you something, Cable. When I turned this on, you were right there. Did you ask that question before we even started? Okay. So did you answer this specifically, Jeff?
We're going to study stuff for the 66. There's somebody else who just asked, what's the best way to attack the 66?
There you go.
Guy.
Okay.
You know,
I love it. It's I love this. It's Thursday night, Jeff stylings of Jeff. Okay.
Yeah, I listen. You're going to still follow the same premise that I can put the video in there of how to study for the exam and all that stuff. But you're going to read the book. You're going to do the chapter quizzes, and then you're going to do the practice exams. You're going to want to get 75 to 80%. But my point is that when you're reading and when you read the explanations, like when you read an explanation, I feel like on the 7, like if you're doing a question about a bond and it's priced at this and what's, the current yield, it's pretty straightforward. But when you think about a regulatory concept or a state filing or registration, you have to understand why you need to do it. And that's the difference I think in the 2 exams. It's a different, I almost want to say you want to slow down a little bit on the 65, 66 rather than have that like quicker momentum on the 7. I think you really have to pay attention to the wording on the 65, 66, even more so than you do on the 7. So it's not a matter of changing your...
The dog agrees.
Yeah, the dog agrees. It's not so much that you're going to change the style that the way that you're studying. You're going to still have to put in the time and, do your 2 to 3 hours a day and take your practice exams and review them. But pay attention to the explanations that they're providing and the wording in the chapters, because it's going to give you more insight into the actual rule or regulation that they're applying this to. It's not an investment concept. It's more of like a hard rule and then why you would need to have that in place. Ken, does that make sense?
Yes. 100%. Everything you said is dead on. It's awesome. You are the king of the study stuff. Okay.
No, I'm the king of anxiety. That's what
there you go. You know what? That's true. That is a lot of things. I don't understand the anxiety part, so I don't address it ever. I just say, fucking fuck up. I yell at people.
Like as I've done different things between, and this applies even to me with like working and learning a new, when you're working, you have to learn something new in your job or whatever. Like you need to take a breath, take a step back and figure out the best way to approach it. And I was thinking that, some people get so frustrated with like the 65 and 66 because it is slightly different. Maybe just tweaking the angle just a little bit, it's like that 1 degree off of a plane flying from California to New York. You can either land up in Washington or New York.
Read the session again. Right. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
You always got to. I'm always a big fan of reading everything a second time. Really, I am. Okay. Okay. Looks like everyone's talking about you. That's good. That's good. Okay. Yeah. So Dave, yeah, same thing. Just listen to what Jeff said, and it's gonna help you. And congrats again on this. Okay. Now, Finn Minty, I'm not gonna go heavy on this. I'm happy to go heavier on this a little bit on Tuesday next, but tonight it will be on the 65. So if I'm long stock, long duck dong. If I'm long, what do I want to happen? I want the stock to go up. So I will do things that are opposite of that. So if I'm bullish, I have to do bearish things. So if I want protection, I buy put. If I want income, I sell a call. That's it. There's nothing else you can do. There's nothing else you can do. If I want protection, I buy. I buy protection, I don't sell it. We buy insurance, we don't sell it. Okay. So if I want it, if I hear the word H for hedging, I for insurance, or P for protection, I'm buying. Buyers are hip. And the only reason you sell options is for income. And if you're short stock, we do the opposite, right? So for short stock, if we're short stock, we either buy a call for HIP or sell a put for income, baby. That's all you're doing. So, Finn Minty, literally, if you're taking the 65 or 66 and they do suitability, that's probably all you're going to get. What do I do? If I'm long stock, I buy puts or sell calls, and they will say it. They're not going to hide it. They want to supplement your yield, add income. All that shit is selling. If they say hedge, insurance or protection, you're buying. Okay. Oh, Isabel Dominguez. I got to roll up. Out of order. Outstanding. Where's my good one? Oh, Isabel? Okay, here we go. That's the one that Catherine. It looks so much worse on the landscape, but I figure I give you a little treat. Catherine, one of the women who passed it about 2 weeks ago, asked me to do that clip. Okay. See, I'm fully well aware, comfortable with my shit, that I can put something on that I have no interest in looking at. Okay.
There you
go. Okay, here we go. Good. I like when they talk. I love when everyone talks to each other on this. That's the best part. When people chat back and forth. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Okay. So Gavin. So first of all, it's just Monday. Have you watched my Power Hour? Here, remember again, focus on the state regs, not the Fed. You can do the Fed, but this is a state test. Look, even the federal rules are looking at it through a state lens. Remember that. That's the big thing, okay? So let's see if I have it. Where is it? Make sure you've seen this if I still have this stupid thing. Do I not have it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Like, you have to kind of memorize this chart that I'm going to share. So you kind of look at, can you see, you'll see it, right? Okay. Yeah, so you got to kind of memorize this thing. It's got, let me undo that, right? So this is, they do this with the options. I love the boxes. I created this just so it has, so you can understand it. Broker dealers are the firms. Agents are the work for them. IAs are the firm. IARs work for them. So, Gavin, I would memorize this. I have a video where I go through it. If you look for my 65 playlist, you go through it. You got to get that stuff down. Again, focus mostly. Most of your focus part, not the Fed. Yes, there'll be Fed rules, but they'll say after 40. And don't worry about it too much. I don't know how to go over. I mean, I couldn't go over it it would take me probably 3 hours to go through all the differences. But I would review it. If you're taking this early next week, you're taking it, I guess, which is Monday. So Sunday, don't take any quizzes. So you have today, you have tomorrow and Saturday to take tests. Sunday, go through my crash course, go through any kind of cheat sheets, Achievable as a cheat sheet. Watch those videos that kind of in the crash course playlist, and let's get this fucking thing, okay? I know it's a little bit of platitude, but your best plan is memorizing the state rules and then worry about the Fed later. But focus on the state for the most part, okay? Okay, so GC Golf. Okay, let's talk about ERISA for a second, okay? So regulations are big. If you're taking the 66, 65 has regs. It's not as much as the 66, but they are there. So ERISA is the Employee Retirement Income Security Act, but nobody cares. It's for corporate plans. We have some rules. One, you can't discriminate. If you offer to one employee, you have to offer to all of them who are full-time and over 21. They're not going to make you decide what full-time is. They have a vesting schedule, which means any money that the firm puts in for you, at some point it has to become accessible by you, okay? So like if they're putting in like they're matching what you put in up to 100%, and they put in $5,000 a year. Well, there has to be a schedule, like either 3 years, either over a 5-year period or over a 3-year period, where slowly the money becomes yours, that if you leave, you can walk away with it. So let me do the example. I worked at Westpac. Oh, God, it's an Australian bank, and it's the most corporate thing I've ever been in my life. You think Australians are cool, but no, they're the most corporate thing in the world. I tell Jeff all the time, I am not a corporate person. Like, even when I worked for Bank America and all these firms, Credit Suisse, I worked on the stock exchange. Way different. No corporate shit. You can say whatever you want. It's all about, can you bring in money, right? So I go to this place. I'm there for like a couple months, and they decide to do this whole, not that you care, but the point is, why didn't I'm going on this? But the point is, I left after 9 months because they do this stupid thing where they make you do your own evaluation, and then they give you these words that you've never heard of to type into your evaluation. If you worked at a big corporation, you know what I'm talking about. These metrics is, and I'm like, and I was doing compliance at the time. What metrics is there? Nobody went to jail. We're good, right? That's literally what it is. So the point
young Padawan, yeah.
Nobody went to jail. We're good.
You have so much to learn.
Okay. I will never learn that. That's the thing. I don't care. Okay. So that's why I'll never do that. Now, and GC's like, fuck you, just shut up. Now, the reason is I left after 9 months. By that time, they had put on their own about $15,000 into my retirement account. I didn't put any in. They were just shoving it in there, whatever the percentage, like 1% of my salary, 0.5%, whatever it was. They put it in there. And and I left after 9 months, and I see my account. I was like $15,000 in it. And they go, well, you're only getting $2,000. Because after 9 months, I've only vested whatever percentage was under 1%, under 10%. If I lasted a year and I got 10%, if I lasted 2 years, it'd have been 40, all the way up to, I think it was after 5 years, I'd have access to all of it. Okay. So that's what it is. Okay. Is that the vesting schedule is part of ERISA. The other one is you can't take the money out before you're 59 and a half, or you get a penalty. The money goes in at pre-tax, which means the money has not been taxed yet. When you take it out, you pay tax at ordinary income on the whole thing. You must start taking it out the April 1st after you turn 73. And there's a lot of auditing rules. No, that's ERISA in a nutshell. That's the big stuff. Okay, qualified under ERISA, pre-tax money. There's different types of ERISA plans. 401k for big companies. So a KEO or a SEP IRA for like a sole prop. Simple 401ks and stuff like that. These are for smaller companies. You have a 403B is for teachers and nonprofits. A 457 is technically non-qualified, but it's for like firemen and police, so they can take the money out early. Those are all covered. They may bring up, I think it's 404C, that if I offer a plan to all my employees, technically, if they do bad on if the 401k loses money, they could sue me. They say, you give me a bad plan. Unless I do 3 things, and this will show up on the test. If I want to be protected under ERISA for these for a plan that I don't get sued for them doing bad, I have to offer 3 things. 1, I have to give you education on investing, and not how to invest, but like how to diversify. 2, I have to give you at least 3 different levels of diversification and risk to choose from, and I have to let you be able to choose quarterly. Okay, to change your shit at least every quarter. If I offer you those 3 things, if your 401k shits the bed, you cannot sue me because I gave you the chance to do your own stuff. Okay, now that's a risk. Now there's another thing they bring in there called and remember it's always ordinary income. The other one is a non-qualified deferred comp. I call them golden handcuffs, right? Because basically, like when I was at Alex Brown, any of us who made this was the late 90s, anyone who made over $100,000 bonus, they immediately took 30 grand and threw it in a deferred comp. Now, we can get it later, but not now. What happens is if we leave early, if we quit, we lose some of that money. That's what a deferred comp does. And the other part is they if they fire me or I leave, I can lose that money. Secondly, or thirdly, if you want to say, if remember, unlike ERISA plans where the money has to be held somewhere else, say like if you work at Morgan Stanley or Credit Suisse, the money's held at like Fidelity or T. Rowe or Vanguard, separate company, separate custodian. Non-qualified, they hold it at the firm. So if the firm goes out of business or gets sued, that money can be used to handle the lawsuit because it's considered an asset of the company. The best explanation ever. One of my students, he was older, he's like in his late 50s, early 60s maybe. And all of a sudden, about 5 years ago, NASAA, the state started cracking down on people getting a 65. He had to get a 65, and we were talking about it, and he was complaining because in 2006, he had 6.2 million, and he was at 6.2 million in his deferred comp plan. He started in the 80s, right? And but he worked for Lehman, so he lost every penny of that deferred comp. He had money in his 401k, so he had 6 million in 401k, 6 million in his deferred comp. The 401k was held at T. Rowe, totally fine. The 6 million that was 6.2 that was held at Lehman on the deferred comp, he lost every penny. So you will get questions on deferred comp. Deferred comp is they can discriminate. Only have the high earners do it. You can the money's. It's riskier because if the company goes bankrupt or they get sued, you can lose that money. And if you leave early, you can lose the money. Boom. Okay. I agree that the 66 feels wordier. It's much more cerebral if you want to think about it. Like you need to be a little bit smarter, clever on that. Okay. But yeah, just remember, if you just started, don't worry about it. Just focus on reading. Don't worry about your shit yet. Okay. Yeah, Lillian, exactly. I think that's responsive to what Jeff was saying. 100%. Okay. Oh, hold on. Kyle, I'll be right on there. Love it. I love it. Here we go.
Get physical. I wanna get physical. Let's get into physical. Let me hear your body talk. Get physical.
I went very 80s with my uploads this week. Okay. That's awesome, XI. The 66 is not fucking easy to pass. If you're still on here, okay? If you're on here, and Isabel, I will get to that. If you are still on here, are you were any surprise? I don't need to know questions. Were there any surprises that you saw? Okay. Don't say hope, Kyle. We're gonna get it right. Third tries. This is what I found out. Again, this is purely anecdotal, but it seems like first time it is what it is. Second time, it seems to be harder. And then the third time seems to be a mix of the two. As long as you've done, as long as you're not just taking questions and you're focused on reading, read the STC, do the Kaplan and STC questions, do my 2 brutal. And guys, remember, guys, before you take the test, find my 2 brutal exams on my channel. I beg of you, watch them. I promise you, they will give you some help on the real exam. That's all I'm going to say. Just remember that they're absolutely going to help you with the exam. Okay. Do them, Kyle. And hope if you're not taking it before next Thursday, do them and come on next Thursday and tell me how it is. Also, feel free if you want to join the memberships. We meet on like we just met before here. We meet on Mondays at 6 p.m. and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's either 34 or 49 a month. And it's a great group of people, and a lot of times they stay on after I meet, and they start study groups together. It's super goodly. Okay. They're having a bigly good time. Okay, good, okay. And Allie, stay on there. Okay, hold on. No. You're probably fine, but yeah, don't do it. Don't take a lot of questions now, especially if you're taking it tomorrow. And if you're on here now and you're hearing me say this, what the fuck are you doing? Get off. You're supposed to go to sleep. Okay. Now, Isabel. Okay. Can I explain jurisdiction when there's an offer? Okay. So remember, originated, directed, accepted. So it's ODA. And so if I'm in New Jersey, and this is the way I explain it, and it's maybe not perfect, but it's the way they're going to do it. If I'm in New Jersey and I call someone in California and they accept it in California, it originated in Jersey, I directed it to California, and they accept it in California, both states have jurisdiction. Now, STC and Kaplan, they disagree with me. Kaplan agrees with me, I think, and STC doesn't. I think if I call from Jersey into California and the California client is in Nevada on a bender at Vegas, right? Because that's what they do. And I get him there or her, not whatever, and they accept it there, I think all three states have jurisdiction. So it's originated Jersey, directed to California, and accepted. If they accept it, remember something. If a client doesn't accept it, and there's no jurisdiction because nothing happened. On the test, I think you'll be fine. They'll just say, oh, they mailed shit from New Jersey to California. Originated in New Jersey, went to California, okay? So it's mostly going to be that where they get you. But the thing is, the vendors like Pest Perfect and Kaplan, maybe even Achievable, I'm not sure. They'll do like this. You're trying to find your client Johnny, and they're in an airport, and then they drive through Mexico, and they drive through New Mexico, and then they answer in Arizona, but they send the money where they're in California. I can't track that, so I just pick B and I move on. Okay, so it's mostly going to be it's going to be very straightforward. They might say, "Oh, you sent mail to Oregon and Washington, and you sent 10 pieces of mail to both." Yeah, you got to be registered. You're making offers in the state. They're not going to be like, they sent it to Washington and then it didn't go. It tracked them down to all different states. They're not going that way. Okay. You're fine. Okay. You're fine. You're in a good place. But Jeff, you have 20 days. So Jeff BT, you have 20 days. Since you're getting 60s, what do? You have to start reviewing. So if you get 60s, you're not ready yet, but that's fine. You're 20 days away. Maybe look in the performance tracker, which Kaplan is a good performance tracker. Find the lowest 3 or 4 chapters and spend the next, like now through Monday, just reading and watching videos on those sections. See if you pop. Also, go over the questions and see if you're getting them wrong because you didn't know that, or if you didn't know because you didn't know it, or you couldn't follow the convoluted path they took you on. If it's because of the convoluted or a stupid mistake, fine, I don't really care. But if it's because you didn't know the topic, I do care. Okay. Isabella, we don't think we said happy to you. We got to do this. Okay. It was like 90 today or whatever. So I sent that to my daughter and said, I'm obsessed with the song. See if your band knows this song. So we'll see how she answers. She's so anxious anyway. I just probably made it worse. Okay. If I can't make her more nervous about this. Okay. Bianca, baby. Didn't I tell you? I thought we talked about it in the group. No finals on Sunday. 2 on Sunday. That's fucking nuts. Look, I'm going to tell you not to do any. You're going to do it anyway. So please just do 1. Please just do 1. Don't do 2. You're going to go crazy on that. Okay. Just do 1. I'd rather you do none, but if you're going to have to do it, you can. And again, I'm not a fan of two a day anyway. But if you're going to do it regardless of what I say. So just make sure you have time to review every single question that you get wrong or right. You have to review the entire test. Okay. Dave, I love it. I did play a song for you before, so that's good. Okay. Finn Minty, awesome. I know. I try to keep it simple because, as I tell everyone, My genius is that I'm an idiot. That's literally what it is. My geniosity is that I'm an idiot. Okay. That's literally what it is.
Genius. Is that a word?
Geniosity. I'm a dumbass. That's really what it is. And that really works out for me.
There you go.
What they call it with my wife? It's weaponizing competency. Okay. I did not take any of my questions from my brutalism and from Kalpin. That is not where I got them. I'll leave it at that. Okay. We're running out of time. We're gonna be okay. Let's see. Good. I'm glad you got it, GCG. Okay. And good. I don't see Ashley. I don't see what's her name? Where is she? Ali answering because I think she's done. That works out. Okay. Let's see. Okay. If you guys have questions, throw them in here because if you don't, I'm heading out. Okay. You got it next. So gains shot kills. Okay. I got my exam next Friday. Scored a 75 and I practice exam. Look, you just got to keep doing tests every day. You got to keep doing tests every single day. And I again, not Thursday, but but here's the thing: you don't just take tests, okay? You got to take a test. Then you have to go through it and figure how many questions did I get wrong because I was a fucking dumbass. How many did I get wrong because I couldn't follow the track? How many did I get wrong because I didn't know my stuff? Okay, cool. Okay. Chris emailed me. Okay, now. Okay. Prado. So now, I would say focus on taking a test, reviewing the shit out of it. As Brian Marks said from Notman, his line, and I love this line. He goes, see, I give credit when I use other people's lines. So when you take a test, it should take you just as long to review it. It should take you just as long to review it as to take that exam. Hey, Z, thank you for staying on. I love that. Okay. So it should take you just as long to review because you should review the right ones and the wrong ones and categorize them. So I tell everyone, categorize this shit. So answers fall into 4 categories. You got it right because you knew it. Awesome. Read that. You confirm it. Move on. You got it right because you guessed. I treat that as a wrong answer. That's basically, if you get it right because you guessed, I treat that as the worst possible thing because there's a risk you think it works. Okay. So it doesn't. So I would say, if you got it right for the wrong reason, reread the chapter, find out why. If you got it wrong because you guessed, because like you didn't understand it or couldn't follow it, fine, review it, and then see if you understood the concept. If you got it wrong because you didn't know it, then you got to review the chapter, go over that. That's literally what you got to do. You have to sit there and go through everything. Okay. There you go. Exactly. Okay. Now, no surprises. Yes, that's what I tell everyone. It's like I go big on that, and that's why I did a video on it. It's not that it's a lot on the test, but it shows up more than you think. The estates and the joint accounts and all that shit revocable. Like on revocable, the grantor pays, and irrevocable, the estate pays, stuff like that. If it's a irrevocable trust, it's taxed like a corporation because it pays taxes, not you, not the grantor. So those are all little things that you'll want to give up. So I tell everyone, and this is anyone taking it. If you're taking, so Ali, if you're still on it, you better not be. Read it. You're good on ethics. You're fine. Everyone else, 65 and 66, you got to do a quick review of trusts, estates, and joint accounts the day before the morning. Yeah. See, I'm telling you, I know when I talk to people, and she's in my membership class, okay? So this is great. She every Monday and every Thursday. We meet Monday at 6 p.m., Thursdays at 7. It's really awesome. It's a good group of people. They're all good people. They're all helpful to each other. It's really good that even when somebody makes a mistake, somebody goes, oh my God, I made the same mistake. There's no judging. And I'm the only one judging. As I told them, I use that as my, what do you call it? Like, when I want to vent, that's when I yell at all my students. And it makes me feel good to vent. So I vent, it's out of love, but I do yell at them. And some people think it helps. Okay. Nobody cries. There's no crying in finance. Okay. Okay, so here we go. So agents, so if you want to split commissions with another agent, you just got to let your client know. Okay, that's fine. Now, if you want to split splitting commissions, they have to be either the same firm or under common control. So, like, let's say, I worked for Bank of America. Okay, Bank of America Securities before the merge. Okay, so I worked there for like 8 years. So I worked at Bank of America after I want to say COVID, after the GFC, the fucking horror show of 2008. Kind of the government made Merrill Lynch and Bank of America merge for some stupid reason, but they did. So really there's Bank of America Securities and Merrill Lynch, and then Merrill Lynch Edge, actually. So Merrill Edge is a broker-dealer, Merrill Lynch is a broker-dealer, and Bank of America, Bank with the C of America, that's who I worked for. Those are 3 broker-dealers. You absolutely can split commissions with a customer between those firms because they are under common control. They're under the bank BAC, the holding company, the same owner who owns them, so they can split commissions with them. So I think that works. Now, if they're not in the same firm, you cannot do it. So someone from UBS cannot split commissions with someone from Goldman. Now, the firms can do a revenue share. Okay, the firms can do a revenue share, but the reps cannot share between different firms unless they're under common control. Now, the other part of it is agents can have a joint account. Now, this is under FINRA, the agents can have a joint account. So if say Jeff's my customer, and for some reason he's stupid enough to think that I can manage his account, we can have a shared account, and we can split the profit and loss. Now, if under FINRA rules, they have to be proportional. I put in 40, he puts in 60. That means I'm 40%, he's 60%. Under NASAA, they don't mention the proportionality, but since FINRA does, they probably have to follow it. So it doesn't have to be proportional, but I can do that with a joint account. As an agent can. IARs cannot, okay? Broker-dealers cannot have a joint account. IARs can't, IAs can't. They just can't. But what IARs can do is if it's a qualified client, which for now, for the next month or so, is, and it'll be for a while, 1.1 AUM, 2.2 net worth. Now, to be fair, I've never seen the question. Well, maybe I have once, but very rarely do I see them ask the question of what a qualified client is. But if the client is a qualified client, then that means you can charge a performance-based fee. That doesn't mean you're splitting commissions. That means you're taking a percentage of what they grew over that quarter, year, month, whatever it was. So that's the closest IARs and agents, IARs can get to splitting commissions. Agents can have a joint account. Splitting profit and loss. Agents can have a joint account. IARs can't. So the only way IARs do it is if for qualified clients, they can do a performance-based fee. So they get paid based on not only on the assets under management, but also the performance. And if they're not qualified, you can't. Chris, call me. We'll try to figure something out. Okay. Yeah, but if you're capping, you're fine. I would take a test every day. Like I said before, take a test every day. Just review the shit out of it. Again, if it's capping, review it. See how many of those were dumb mistakes versus actual lack of knowledge. I bet you half of them were just I didn't understand what they're asking. And I'm less worried about those than anything else. Okay. And again, same thing. I promise you guys, if you haven't done it yet, not the 63 people, but if you're taking the 65 or 66, you need to watch the brutal exam at some point. And if you're more than 2 weeks away, join the fucking membership. It's literally $8 a class. Remember, it's not $50 a class. It's $50 a month. $8 a day. Now, the other thing you can do is we have tutoring. And if you like Jeff's stuff, Jeff just spent the first half hour, 20 minutes telling you how to study. He does that for me, for us. We are partners all the time. That's all he does. He doesn't do the tutoring on the topics. So if you guys want to meet with him and spend a little money and meet with him for half hour, 2 hours, whatever you can get out of him, you can go on there and book him and go from there. Okay? Okay, here we go. Kyle. Okay. So now that establishing life insurance, I forgot what it's called. It's called a life insurance trust. So if you see something about paying the life insurance, it's called I guess it's to pay the estate taxes and all that. You set up what they call a life insurance trust. It's on my brutal exam. I definitely cover it. I always forget what the name is. Okay. A TOD, You want to make sure that here's what's the problem with the TOD. If I want my money to go to one person, I set up a transfer on death, and it means if I set up an account, I want all my money to go to my daughter Madeline. I'm going to say TOD with Madeline's name. No matter what my will says, my money in that account will go to Madeline, no one else. Okay. Now, even if my will says all my money goes to whatever, doesn't matter. Everything in that account under TOD, because TOD does two things: avoids probate and supersedes the will. Triggering. Now, here's another thing. Here's a question for you guys. What do you do to decide how do you guys decide what kind of trust a person should open? So again, as an IAR, and I come to you and say, hey, listen, Kyle, listen, Allie, listen, Chris, help me pick out what kind of trust that I should open. And here's the rule. It's fail safe. Tell them to talk to a fucking lawyer. It's not your job. There are three things you don't do. You don't tell them how to do a mortgage. You don't do their taxes, and you don't tell them what kind of trust to open. That's lawyers, accountants, and whoever else, okay? A mortgage guy. Now, if you're a CPA, maybe you can help with their taxes, but that's not your job. Is to help them with investments. You are not to tell them what kind of trust to open. So if they ask, nope, talk to your lawyer. Not your job. You can explain to you the reason you take the test is that you understand the issues with them, and you can talk to them about the issues, but you do not get to help them choose. They talk to a lawyer about doing that because the lawyer's gonna have to set it up anyway. And don't do legal zone, but whatever. Okay. Okay. GC baby, we're gonna kick it in the ass. We're absolutely gonna kick it in the ass. 100%. We're gonna kick this shit in the ass. I fully believe that. Do I have anything good in here? Nah, I don't have any good one.
I'm gonna beat the test. I'm gonna take it like a savage.
It's one of my favorite ones. Jeff looks at me like, what are you doing? I'm saving those forever because they're all gone. Because Sora is gone. Okay. Everyone, we did some damage today. Any last minute questions before we head out of this? And it was, by the way, did you guys notice a different link came through? Because we started it and YouTube just goes, fuck you. We're not going to turn it on. Okay. And I was literally talking to the void for a while. Don't forget, guys, I have tutoring. Go to 60series66exam.com. If you don't like my style, hold on. Prado, what's up? Okay. If you don't like my style, I'm a dumbass. I said that. Okay. Go to Series 7 Exam Tutor.com. He's great. Go check out if you guys want other supplements. Go to Achievable. They're outstanding. They even have free cheat sheets. They even do a free exam. They have a free practice exam. But I'm warning you, it's fucking hard. I haven't done it yet, but everyone says it feels harder than the exam. Also, if you need other questions, you can go to STC. I have links for both of them. STC sells supplemental exams. You did like 4. I'm working on getting more out of them, but we'll see what happens. And I think that's it. But don't forget, if you want to really learn this stuff well, Achievable is fantastic. Okay. Other than that, or joining my memberships, I think we're good. We did some damage, and it's almost 9 o'clock, and I have someone from California calling me in 3 minutes. Okay, everyone, you all have a good night. I will see you guys later, and